And it doesn't require there to be an absolute winner. It says the apparent winner, the apparent winner. And we've been unable to get access to the kinds of things we need to know about the depth of the stockpiles. We know there's not much at all. We get to the point where we have a sense of when these vaccines comes out, how they'll be distributed, who'll be first in line, what the plan is. There are over 300 million Americans that are, and beyond our border that are going to have to be taken care of. And there's a whole lot of things that are we just don't have available to us, which unless it's made available soon, we're going to be behind by weeks or months being able to put together the whole initiative relating to the biggest promise we have, with two drug companies coming along and finding 95% effectiveness, efficiency in the vaccines, which is an enormous promise. So I just want to tell you that's the only slowdown right now that we have. We put together, I think, a first-rate team that you would all be proud of. We're all ready to go and doing an awful lot of work right now.
Right now, COVID-19 infections are surging across Minnesota and the country. Our hospitals, I tell you, are overflowing with COVID patients, and we aren't prepared. We don't have the necessary resources to keep patients and our workers safe. Nurses, I'm telling you, are feeling extremely anxious right now. We know the right way to battle this virus, but our employers and our government are not supporting us. We're trying to care for patients despite limited supplies, limited staff, and a rapid decline in the hospital beds. And all the while, we know that we could become infected and our families could be infected at any time. The physical impacts of this virus have been devastating. I myself have held the hand of dying patients who are crying out for their family that they can't see. I've taken care of coworkers as they fight for their lives on a ventilator, and knowing that they got sick because of the hospital or their government hasn't protected them. President-elect Biden, there is something seriously wrong when nurses have to take to the streets to beg for protection in the middle of a pandemic. What we're experiencing in Minnesota is what nurses are experiencing all over the country. We're not being given the protection that we need. We need to have optimal PPE for all staff to prevent airborne and droplet transmissions. We need testing of our workers and patients and contact tracing and notification of exposure for healthcare workers. Do you know that I have not been tested yet, and I have been on the front lines in the ICU since February?
You're kidding me.
No. You know, we nurses, we know that we are facing immense death and suffering in the coming weeks, and we will be there. But we need to act now. We need to act quickly to protect our healthcare workers so that we can save as many lives as possible. Thank you.
Mary,
I'm sorry, I'm so emotional.
No.
It's just...
You got me emotional. Look, you know, anyone who spent significant time in ICU like I did for months, you know what I used to do? After I got out, I observed, this is not COVID, but I observed the incredible mental strain on nurses in ICU units. And one of the things I'm going to be doing is thanking the governors who've already moved, but calling on all the leaders in the states to have mandatory masking, testing, tracing, social distancing. I mean, for example, the docs that have been advising me all along are telling me, and it's going to cause problems in my family. Thanksgiving's coming up. Well, they said, Joe, maximum 10 people in your home, maximum, Joe. I got a big family you probably heard a lot about. We do everything together. Well, you know, we're just not going to, there are going to be 3 of us because you can't mix the families that have been away, that have been quarantined. I mean, not away, in other words, live a different place. And so all these difficult decisions people are going to be making, we got to give them hope. We got to give them hope. And I believe there is reason for optimism. Granted, it could come quicker if we move quicker, but there is hope on the way. Not because of me. I'm not like, you know, hope's on the way. But there's a realization that's coming upon everyone. And I promise you, I will be using the Defense Authorization Act. I will be using the bully pulpit. The words of a president matter, whether they're good,